about my job. I get to make this important experience fun and easy. We don't work on commission, so there's no pressure. When you visit, first, I'll want to know, what are your ideas for your dream ring? What fits your lifestyle, your personality, your budget? Then we'll go from there. We'll look at ring settings and I'll show you options for the center stone. For example, if you choose a classic solitaire ring setting, I can show you how it'll look with different center stones, like a pear-shaped diamond or an oval pink sapphire. We have all shapes, colors, and sizes. If you're going for a big look with lots of sparkle, I can show you our halo ring settings. Or, if you want a ring that's ready to go, we can look at our perfectly preset styles. Visit your friends. We're in this together.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Gotta Go, Gotta Throw is your personal disc golf warehouse. They have everything you need, whether you're a beginner, a competitor, or somewhere in between. Visit them today at their location in Golden Valley or online at GottaGo, GottaThrow.com.
This whole wall needs to be shelving, too. This is a focal point in our restaurant.
Leilani's new restaurant will have the largest wine cellar in the city. She needs a robust sommelier with notes of procurement manager.
3 sections for France? I mean, this is the biggest...
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
KFAN's Purple Mondays are brought to you in part by Friends and Banks.
This report is sponsored by Papa Murphy's.
Fan forecast.
We're going to stay below zero for most of the day, high around 2.
At Papa Murphy's, we make your pizza fresh.
Clear for bake-off in 3,
so you can bake it right away.
We have bake-off.
Right now, get the herb chicken Mediterranean pizza and enjoy a pizza that's out of this world.
Beautiful.
Papa Murphy's, change the way you pizza.
Back to 9 to noon. Live in the 651 Carpets, home of the Next Day Install Studios. On FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
How could he do that?
That's what this team is all about, defense and working hard.
Can you repeat the part of the stuff where you said all about the things?
We are in search of Chad Greenway. And if we find him, we do. If we don't, we don't. But this is not to, indict Greenway for not being responsible. 9 to noon ran 7 minutes late. So if he forgot, then he forgot. But yours truly ran 7 minutes late. And that's not how I laid out the text to him. So therefore, that's my bad. That took us a little while to get this guy. Hey, man, I'm sorry I'm late with this phone call. What's going on?
Not much. No, I'm glad we could connect today. It's obviously a tough day in Vikings world.
Yeah, you were first and foremost. When thinking we got play-by-play Paul, we have Faith and Goal Paul, we have racetrack announcing Paul, and we have 9 to noon Paul. So when 9 to noon Paul was thinking about, okay, let's get Burkbit. He's been through 2 coach firings. Let's get Greenway. I mean, you in your 06 to 2016 run, Spielman led personnel or was the GM every step of the way, and you played 3 years for Zimmer. So, I mean, this is not like, let's put Chad in a spot where, he's, potentially going to say something splashy and 9 to noon and KFAN are going to blow up on Twitter. Yeah, we don't play the game like that. I just want you to open your heart on how you feel right now with Zimmer and Spielman both losing their jobs.
Yeah, I think my initial thought is I think of them as obviously humans and friends, right? And guys that I worked with alongside for, through thick and thin and ups and downs for with Rick for a number of years, my whole career. Sat down in his office and got, contract negotiations done and introduced him to my kids, right? And know all his kids and know the family. And you think of the human aspect of it, and guys losing their jobs in a very, very public way. And with Coach Zimmer obviously coming in and the end of my career, kind of refreshing the end of my career and allowing me to finish a Viking and playing for a guy that I think is one of the greatest X and O's defensive coordinators and defensive coaches in the history of the NFL. That's my opinion. I think he's that good. And he's a guy that I think will have my back forever. I think he's that kind of guy. And I just, you think about that aspect, and you hate when guys lose their jobs. It's the NFL, and you know how that operates. It doesn't make it any easier on days like today, and they're going to land on their feet, and they're going to, because they're great people and they're great at their job. It's just wasn't meant to be here, right? And it didn't work out for us to go win a title with this group. And then you think about all the other coaches and family members and kids that are going to be affected by this, within the organization. And again, it's not I know they make a lot of money, and I know all the Twitter haters out there are going to come for all those discussions, right? If they make the money, they got to get fired, all this stuff. Well, they're still people and they're still friends, and it's not easy. So thinking about them a lot today, reached out to them all via text, and just wanted to kind of make sure they know they got their back, and wish nothing but the best to land on their feet.
I think really the first what's next plan or moving forward idea that I've shared 9 to noon today, and it just really hit me hard, man, talking to you. I think no matter who the next head coach is, Andre Patterson should be the defensive coordinator, and he should be the sole defensive coordinator, and that is one move that could be deemed long overdue, but B, I would make that move and make Andre the defensive coordinator. What do you think?
Well, I love that move. I think Dre has the personality to be a head coach personally as well. I think Dre is that kind of coach and that kind of player. I know Ben has kind of said this already. Lieber and I have the same opinion. Is I think the next head coach has to be able to communicate both sides of the ball evenly and be a head coach. And I think what you see is as these coaches come up through the ranks, right? They're either on the offensive or defensive side, and they sort of pick a post, right? I'm going to be on the OC, and I'm going to come in and be an offensive coach, and that's who they are. And Zimmer's no different, right? He's the elite defensive coordinator with the Bengals. He gets an opportunity, comes in here, and can't give up the ability to call plays. Now, obviously, there's a lot of coaches that have won that way. There's a lot of coaches that won Super Bowls by calling plays or on either side of the ball. It's going to be interesting to see what the hire is going to take us. And with Dre specifically, the reason I bring that up is because I think Dre can speak the language of a head coach and be on both sides of that without having to be the defensive coordinator. And I think that's just, I got to play under Dre for 3 years and be around him and understand him. He has an ego like anybody, but he has an understanding too, and has a great experience and great perspective that would be very, very important to keep in this organization. So I hope the Wilfs understand that and know that, and hopefully whoever they're planning on bringing in, has that of an idea to at least give them a look. Hey,
52, do you think it's fair to say that Mike Zimmer wanted to win games with a running game that kept his defense fresh, lower scoring games, probably tightly contested games, but that's kind of the motif of the types of games he would like to win?
Yeah, I think that's who he was. That's who he is as a coach. I think he's a defensive coach. He wants to win the game 6-3. I mean, that's, and say what you want, if that's an old school mentality or this or that. He's an old school football coach. He's hard nosed. He preaches accountability and holds the standard, and he does all those things, and he works that way. And I think that's a fair way to assess it. And I think he's obviously it's come back to bite him in certain situations, especially this year, and got to have it wins, right? Where you don't approach the game aggressive enough, maybe offensively.
Now, and what I was getting at, because Nordo brought up a great question about the, 2018, Cousins comes in, and personally speaking, I just never felt Mike and Kirk, more so personally, were a good mesh. And I just think they look at life differently, and that's okay that they do. But nevertheless, they got to the playoffs. They beat New Orleans. They went to San Francisco and so on. But it's the way I laid it out for Nordo is that Spielman brings in Cousins and gives him the unprecedented guaranteed deal. So the passing game off the play action can have an explosiveness that it was lacking even with Case Keenum in 2017 when the team went to the NFC title game. So and with that said, if you look at the best of the best right now, man, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Green Bay Packers, Buffalo Bills, Dallas Cowboys, St. Louis Rams to a certain extent, they're not trying to win lower scoring, tightly contested games. You know what I mean?
It's very true. And I think, I made a post on Twitter this morning. A lot of the feedback has been, that the game has passed Zimmer by, and I don't agree with that in the sense that his defensive approach is passed by. I don't think that his scheme is passed by. I think what even the Twitterverse is saying is, his approach to the game maybe has passed him by. I know, again, he's an elite football coach. He's very good at X's and O's. I know this from being in the game for a long time. But their opinion is important to note that, as you just mentioned, laid out all those teams. To win in the NFL right now may be different than what the plan Zimmer had. And he tried to do it his way. And I give a lot of respect to the Wilfs and Zimmer for making this an 8-year thing, not a 3-year thing, right? Don't take the first thing that's not working out and get rid of it. You give him an 8-year to look, and that's a really good look for a football coach to have a chance to implement everything he wants to implement with the people he has around him and do it his way. And, never want to see somebody get fired. Again, that's all the things I mentioned earlier from a relationship standpoint. He's a really good coach. And he's going to be a really good coach somewhere else, right? But that just wasn't working right here, right now. And, the Wills felt it was time to move on in both regards. And the complete overhaul can be an interesting thing. It can go sideways on you too, and it can be a longer process. So I don't want to I don't want to put another wet blanket on the Vikings fans. But,
I got you.
This is an important time for our organization because we had good people in good place, and we were doing well, but not well enough, and didn't have sustainability in the wins category the last couple of years, and 2 playoff wins in 8 years, and we need more, and let's go hope we find the right people.
I'm not ready to go down the road on the what's next plan, but this cat named VJ called up, and he listens to 9 to Noon a lot. I mean, I just know via the emails or the calls, and he brought up the name Doug Peterson. Now, you played against Doug when he was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you remember about Doug and his offensive philosophy?
Oh, I wish I remembered more. I saw that name get thrown around as all this stuff started to kind of pile up, right? And the media started to gain attention. And not media, that's unfair, but just the mentality, right, around kind of what was going to happen at the end of the season. And saw his name amongst others with Eric Bieniemy and others that kind of are on that list and who excites you. And I think with Peterson, the thing that excites you is obviously, the Super Bowl ring, right? And his ability to go win, but also the way he did it and the creativity, I think was interesting. And I would describe him as pretty creative and flexible. I think he had a good approach, and I think would be a good fit. You just have to understand, what are the Wilfs looking for?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it the best candidate? Is it a certain approach and philosophy? Is it offensive? Does it have to be offense because we're coming off of a defensive coach? Is it a guy who wants to be the CEO and not directed towards one side? I think a lot of that's going to depend on what their approach is going to be. And I think it's a great job to have with a great community and great fans.
My man, we will see you Friday for the feast in studio if you get the opportunity. Thank you very much for the time on short notice. Your opinion is greatly appreciated and respected around here and in the community. And I'll see you soon. Okay.
You bet. Thanks.
Yep, that's Chad Greenway. And one thing he said was, if you're somebody who thinks the game has passed Mike Zimmer by, now, if you say that, I would need to know, does that mean from a head coaching standpoint, like he was this as a leader of man overall, offense, defense, special teams, and just running the corporation as the figurehead that is a head coach? Or do you believe life has passed him by when it comes to defense, because the defense the last 2 years is antithetical to what Mike Zimmer expects, what Mike Zimmer knows, and what Mike Zimmer has produced. And there are a lot of 23Bs. There are a lot of details that go into that, but the overarching take is the defense the last 2 years is antithetical to what a prideful, well-respected defensive mind who invented the mugging of the A-gap. He invented that. I mean, that's ingenuity the National Football League had not known. So if you are one that believes defensive schemes and staying up to date has passed Mike Zimmer by, your opinion flies in the face of the best quarterback in the NFL.